I love his character, he's amazing. I can't wait to laugh with you, cry with you. Start the car, Mom. What? Stop the bar? Start the car, Mom. Anybody want some gum? Hello beautiful makeup lovers and welcome back to my channel. We are going to be diving into a whole lot of Makeup Revolution products today because they have done a collab with Monsters Inc. It's actually Monsters University. I've got so much stuff in front of me, I picked up almost everything from the collection, so we need to dive into it all. Okay, so if you know me and you've been on my channel before, you know that I'm not the biggest fan of all Makeup Revolution products, but you will also know that I'm a sucker for a collab, especially if it is something that I really like, and Monsters University is an amazing film. Out of all the Monsters Inc. films, I think that's probably my favourite because Squishy's mom is the best character ever. So because there's so many products in this collection, I'm going to be doing 2 looks for you, and it's a good job because one of the things is a primer and I forgot to use it. So that's okay, I'm going to be using this in the second look that I do, but I think we're just going to go through everything, grab a drink because this might be a long one. I have my drink. Do you like my cute little cup? I got this from my friend. I'll link her Etsy shop down below in case you're interested in picking anything up from there. So before we go into all of the details and talking about all of the things that are in this collection, let me just show you the close-ups and the swatches. As you can see, I spent a fair bit of money on this collection and I'm not mad. I'm not mad so far. I'm hoping that when I've tested the products, it's going to be as good as the packaging looks. Now, of course, all of these Makeup Revolution items that I'm going to be using in this video will be linked in the description box just in case you're interested in picking anything up. But do be aware as well, there are some bundles on the website where you can save a little bit more money if you want to pick up more than one thing. Now, the first thing that I did forget to use is the Disney Pixar's Monsters University and Revolution Don Carlton inspired Jelly Grip Primer. This is an amazing idea because if you've seen the film and you know Don Carlton, he has sticky pads on his tentacles, and the fact that they've done a sticky primer to coincide with that, really, really good. This retails for £7.99. It says it's a lightweight and hydrating primer. This prep product has a fun green tint and dries down clear, leaving your skin moisturised and ready for base application. So obviously I will try that in the second look. I did want to say the only two things that I didn't pick up from this collection was the Sully makeup bag, because as much as I think it looks real nice with the Sully fur on it, I do not need another makeup bag in my collection. Like, I need that like I need a hole in the head. So that's the only reason I didn't pick that up, and I didn't pick up the large palette because it didn't have any shade names. It just felt a bit jumbled together and it didn't scream Monsters Inc. to me. So there was no way I was going to be picking the big one up. But I did pick up the four, that's 8 Kerry, the four scare card palettes, and we have the Don Carlton scare card palette. Now all of these palettes inside do actually have like the scare card information on. So this says Dangerous Don Carlton and it gives his height, weight, says a little bit about him. So that's a cute little touch. I quite like the packaging of that. I will say when these palettes arrived to me, I did think that the pan sizes are actually quite small. Like, I knew there were going to be small palettes, but I don't know, I was a little bit shocked at just how small the pan sizes were, so just be aware of that. So yeah, this is the Don Carlton one, and it's very, very neutral. We do have sort of a plummy tone here, but apart from that, we're extremely neutral, but that's fine because he's a neutral guy. And these palettes retail for £5.99. So I did pick up the Wazowski and Sullivan palette, Rookies of the Year it says. That's what the outer packaging looks like. Of course you'll have seen the close-ups, and the colour story of this one, I'm not going to lie, is my favourite because we have some colour and I'm a colour lover. And with Monsters Inc., you know, I'm thinking there's a lot of colours, a lot of bright, interesting, fun colours. So this is the palette that speaks to me the most, although it does shock me a little bit that we've got so much neutral shades on the top of this one, because as you'll see in the other palettes as well, we've got a lot of neutral shades overall. So I was hoping this one would be a little bit more colourful than just the 4 colourful shades at the bottom, but there's a nice variety of mattes and shimmers in these palettes. It's not too much of one and too little of the other. Then we've got Art. I love his character, he's amazing. I can't wait to laugh with you, cry with you. So this one is a little bit more colourful as well, but still leaning toward the neutral side. I was just expecting this one to be a bit more poppy because obviously Art is, you know, bright purple. We do have, you know, a brightish purple. Then we've got Randall Boggs, and inside here we do have the shimmer shade that is kind of a little bit like his skin. And again, a little bit neutral leaning. Overall, I'm a little bit sad that there wasn't more colour involved in these palettes. Do let me know if you feel the same. I think for each individual person, there could have just been slight bit more colour variation, not just too neutral leaning. But I think they look super cute together, especially the fact that they're scare cards. I love the design of everything, how they've done that. I think that is lovely. I would personally change up the colour stories just a tad. Then we've got the Mike Wazowski highlighter, and this is £5.99, and it's squishy on the front, which, I mean, that's cute. It's cute. It does have a little mirror inside, and the shade, I think it's going to come across as a bit of a goldy, champagne-y tone of a highlight. So we're going to try this out in a minute along with the Squishy's Mom blush. Oh my goodness, I absolutely love that they included her on something like this because she is my favourite character in the film, and it's a pink cream blush. I don't normally go for pink blush set. I don't normally go for pink blush shades, but it's Squishy's Mom. I'm excited. And again, that one's £5.99. Then we're going to go into the lip products. There is the Sully lip gloss, and I love the way that they've done that, like Sully's fur, blue on top and purple on the bottom. That is super cute. Is it going to translate as clear on the lips? Probably, but am I mad at that? I mean, it's Sully. How can I not get this? Then we have 2 lipsticks. The outer packaging of these are super cute, as well as the actual packaging for the lipsticks themselves. We do have the squishy one. Has this got a specific name? The lip gloss, by the way, was £5.99, and I'm just trying to look for the name of this lipstick. So the lipsticks as well are £5.99. They're like £5.99, don't they? So the green one is the squishy inspired lipstick. The packaging is adorable. I love squishy. Like, look at this. It's adorable. And this is a nice, neutrally pinky, nudie shade. So I'm excited to give that one a go. I think I'm going to enjoy that shade. And then we've got the Art inspired lipstick, again £5.99, and this one is more of a plummy purple tone. Really, really pretty. Then we have the lip oil, which is the Randall lip oil, and I think this is a pH colour changing. Yes, pH colour changing lip oil. Like, pH colour changing doesn't sell it to me because it all just turns a different shade of pink, more or less the same shade of pink, but I'm super excited for the packaging, and I love a lip oil. And you've guessed it, this lip oil is also £5.99. Now, the brush set, a lot of people are going to love because the canister it comes in is a Scream canister. Love the design of this. I didn't know if it was going to be cardboard. It's not. It's more of a tin packaging, and when I can get it open, obviously you don't have to store the brushes in this. You can store anything you want in it. I'm probably just going to give this to my daughter to keep in a bedroom, to be honest, because it just looks super cool. And you do get 4 brushes in the set, and each of them are a different colour, representing a different one of the sororities or fraternities in the film. So we've got Hiss. The one that's called Hiss, I can't remember the name, but that looks like a flat packer type of brush, which, you know, they always come in handy, nice for picking shimmers up or doing a cut crease with. Then we have the pink one, which is the Python New Kappa. And this one's a little bit more of a fluffy brush. To me, that's a little bit big for an eyeshadow brush. So I think I would probably use that for concealer. Then we have the Raw Omega Raw brush. I would definitely use this as a highlighter brush. I do love the theming of these. I think they are very, very on point for the film. And the, of course, Uzma Kappa brush. This one is a bigger, fluffier face brush. And I think I would probably use this. I don't know. I don't really like a flimsy, too much of a flimsy brush. Would I use it for blush? Possibly. Would I use it for bronzer? Maybe I'd use it for bronzer. So yeah, these 4 brushes and the tin do retail for $17.99. So I think that is everything. That took quite a while. Let's dive into the first look. So we're going to be using the Squishies Mom blush. I'm so excited for this. What does it say on the back? It doesn't give me much information. It's sad that it doesn't have the names on this, but I mean, you can see that it's Squishies Mom, and she is amazing. So I'm just going to dip my brush in and let's see how pigmented. Okay, let's just disperse some on the other side, because that's actually a little bit more pigmented than I thought, but maybe as well it's the more dense type of brush that I'm using. Like I say, I don't normally go for a pink blush, but how could I not pick this up? She's my favourite character. Start the car, Mom. What? Stop the bar? Start the car, Mom. Anybody want some gum? My husband was like, don't do your impression on your video. Oh, I'm sorry, I had to. I love her. That is really nice. I mean, I think the formula is nice. It's definitely there, but it's not too pigmented, and it's easy to blend in, so good. It's all good. I do really like that formula. I think it looks cute. And now we're going to go in with the Mike Wazowski highlighter. Again, it's squishy, which I love. Some people are going to think this packaging is a little bit too garish, but I really like it. I think it goes nicely with the film. So we're going to go in with this, and we're just going to see how blinding and nice it is. I do usually like the Makeup Revolution highlighter formula in general, so let's see how it translates. Oh yes, it's definitely golden. So if you are of a similar skin tone to me, I think you will get away with this highlight. It's a little bit sad that there isn't more highlights in the collection, so that people with more skin tones, a variety of skin tones, can use it. But I think if you're slightly deeper and slightly lighter or around my skin tone, you will get away with this highlighter. And it is beautiful. I just wish there were more. It would have been nice if there was a little quad or something like that, just with more shades in. Honestly, I'm all over the place today. I haven't filmed for a while because my cat has been neutered and I've been babysitting him, the poor little sausage, because he's got a cone on. Not one of the horrible plastic ones. I did buy him a nice special soft one, so he looks like a sunflower. I am going to use some of the lip oil just while we're applying the eyeshadow, and then we can go in with one of the lipsticks afterwards. So this is the Randall lip oil. Oh, it does smell sweet and nice. And a little bit candy-like. I'm not actually sure on the specific scent. Ooh, it is nice though. And this is the pH changing one, which that's just a marketing gimmick to me. Really, that doesn't, it's just pink basically. Okay, the applicator doesn't pick up a lot of product. Does it have a slight tinge to it? Okay, it does have the tiniest slight tinge to it, and that actually feels really, really nice. I was expecting a much thinner formula. I don't know why, but that is not too thick. Don't get me wrong, it's not like Gloop, but it's just a really nice cushiony consistency on the lips, and it does feel very hydrating, and I like the fact it's got a little bit of a purple tinge to it. Okay, I'm going to be using this a lot. Okay, so palette wise, I have 4 palettes and I'm going to be doing 2 looks. So you can guess what I'm planning. I am going to do 2 palettes for each look just to test out the, I'm nearly dropping them, just to test out the formulas that are in here, because 4 different looks, I mean, that's a lot. That's a lot. So I'm going to do 2 different looks and incorporate 2 palettes in each. Okay, I think I'm going to do Art and the Mike and Sully palette together, and then I'm going to do the Dawn palette and the Randall palette together, and then we can just see the quality, test as many shades as we can and see how we like them. So I think I'm going to start out with, should we start out with these 2? I'm going to be using the brushes. I could have used that as a highlighter. Remember tomorrow, Kerry, put the primer on, use the highlighter brush. So like I say, because that one's like for concealer, and the rest are too big for eyeshadow, I would probably just be using this one out of this set for eyeshadow. Okay, so looking at these 2 palettes, I think I'm probably going to be getting my depth from the Art palette, because the deepest shade in here I think is deeper than the shades in here. So I'm going to start out with, I like the fact that these ones have got shade names, not like the big palette that doesn't have shade names. I think I'm going to start out with just Chill because it's the deepest shade, and I definitely want to be including Big Monster. It says okay, but that will be for Uzma Kappa and Raw, because that is Sully's fur in a shimmer. So like I say, from the Art palette, I'm just going to be starting out with that Just Chill shade. I think he's an amazing character. I am so glad he was included with his own palette in this, because he is so cool. Like this sewer's my favourite. What, Art, you've been to the sewer before? I really need to stop trying to quote the film. I need to watch it again and stop butchering the lines. That is pigmented and it is a beautiful shade. That has gone on like a nice deep sort of, a deep raspberry, a kind of a wine. Now I'm comparing this to food. I need to stop. I do think overall the collection is super cute. And I think it's going to be one of those collections that you either love or hate, and I definitely love it. I love the film, and I think all the packaging and everything, they've really done it justice, and I definitely, as soon as I saw it, wanted to pick it up. Like, I was getting that Scream can. There was no way I wasn't picking that Scream can up. Although some people were questioning on Instagram as to why they're doing this collab now, because obviously the film is not new out. Like, that doesn't bother me. It doesn't have to be a new thing for it to be a collab. I'm quite happy to still pick it up and enjoy it anyway. Okay, I think that shade is fabulous, and I'm just going to go in over the edges and start to blend that out a little bit, but it went on extremely pigmented and it feels like a nice formula. I do think Revolution put more effort and quality into the products they do when they are doing a collab, which is why I'm happy to pick them up. I picked up the Coraline collabs and the Simpsons, and what was the other one? The Corpse Bride. I really like the collabs that they do, especially for Halloween. That's always a fave. And this shade is also blending out really nicely with itself. Do you think this could be the BH Cosmetics formula? I would be really interested to know if the formula's changed for the better because they now own BH Cosmetics and they can see the formula that's being used. Okay, then I want to go into another shade in the Art palette. I'm going to go into Free Spirited, which is this one here. It's a little bit lighter and brighter and more what I thought for an Art type of palette. I think I'm just going to put this on the edge of it. I don't know. Maybe we'll just pop it a little bit next to it. I still haven't really worked out a plan. I know the shades I want to use, but I think the next look is going to be a lot more neutral leaning with the shades that we've got, but it's still going to be me, so it's still going to be as dramatic as I possibly can get it and as colourful as I can get it. So I think overall though, this one is going to be the more colourful one, but that is a really nice shade just going next to that first shade we put down. Then I want to go into the shade Big Monster. Oh, I love Sully so much. Let's pop this on. I think Monsters University was a fantastic idea to just kind of explain how it all came about that Mike and Sully were friends, because that friendship is just an amazing one. And especially finding out about Randall, that was cute. And I'm just going to try and work on a blend on the outer edges of this, but I wasn't expecting to do sort of a pinky purpley berry type of look with these palettes, but here we are. They are blending out really nicely. I'm not having any issues whatsoever. Please do let me know if you've picked anything up from this collection or you're considering picking anything up. I know there were a few people in my Patreon group, in my Telegram chat, that were saying that they had picked some up or wanted to pick some up. I feel like this is an overall more art-inspired look as a character with these shades, but I'm not mad at that. I love the intensity and I'm actually really impressed with the quality of those mattes. Do I still want to introduce the green? Maybe not. That is the raw shade. Oh. What about the energy shade that's in the art palette? Oh, both of those shades would go amazingly with this. Are we just going to keep this more warm tone instead of introducing the green? I think maybe I'll use a little bit of the shade Best Friends from the Mike and Sully palette for the lower lash line, because I don't really want to introduce the green to this look. I know. Who am I? Okay, so I think I want to use the shade Raw from the Mike and Sully palette, and I want to use the shade Energy from the Art palette, and they are both the sort of marbly two-tone effect shimmers. I'm gonna try and use the brush that comes in the set. I'll pick up the Raw shade first. Do I need to spray this? Should I be spraying this? Okay, I'm gonna pop that toward the inner part, and that was disappointing on a brush. Let me try with my finger. Definitely better using my finger. Then going into the Energy shade from the Art palette and just popping that next to it, leading into that matte, just to add a little bit something different. This is going to be a difficult palette to swatch because it's difficult to get my fingers in the small pan sizes, but they're not the most spectacular shimmers that I've ever worked with. I work with a lot of indie brand shimmers that are really stunning, but they are also pretty. I would definitely say they are pretty. I'm happy with how that's looking. I think it looks nice. Now I definitely need to find something for the waterline. Don't really want to put pink in the waterline because it leans me toward believing I may have pink eye. So let me jump off, finish up this look, and then we'll come back and pick which lip is going to match. Okay, just taking that lip oil off so that we can put on some lipstick, and I did stick some lashes on, I did put a wing on as well, and I think it's just tied the look nicely together. I did go in my waterline with a purple. This is just a cream gel liner from Colourpop in Piggy Bank. I'm not sure if they do this specific shade anymore because I know they've reformulated some of their cream gel liners. Let's go in with one of the lips, and we have the choice of the Squishy or Art, and I feel like because we've done an art inspired eye look, I feel like we should go in with his lipstick as well. I just feel like it's going to match a little bit better. Then we can save the more nudie shade for the more nudie palettes, which might make a little bit more sense, although I do think this shade would go beautifully with this look as well. I do think I'm going to go in with the Art lipstick. Apparently, I'm mixing up the lids now. Okay, I just used the Colourpop lip liner. It's a lippy pencil in Bad Habit, and don't look how badly I line my lips, please. So let's go in with this. This has a little bit of a scent as well. I'm not sure if it's meant to be a berry scent or whether I'm just smelling that because it's sort of a berry colour, do you know? Oh, that is a delicious shade. It is an extremely vampy colour and very dramatic, and I wouldn't have necessarily paired it with this eye look. I probably would have let the eyes speak for themselves and gone with something a little bit more nudie, but going full on bold. It's very comfortable on the lips, like extremely. I was expecting it to be a little bit more drying and matte than it actually is. Is it more of a satin? It'd be interesting to see if it actually dries down. But I think the overall look has come together now and I'm really pleased with it. I didn't honestly think that this was going to be the eye look that I came up with today. I thought it was going to be mainly green. It's interesting to me that there isn't a blue matte in this palette, because if there was, I definitely would have been using it today. Like Sully has a lot of blue on him. Is that just me? Like that, I think they've missed a trick. I don't really like the fact that we've got 4 neutrals up here. Like we've got a lot of neutrals in the other palettes. So I think this could have definitely been more Mike and Sully. But as for the quality, I don't have an issue with the mattes. They're not the, how can I describe it? They're a little bit more of a thinner matte formula than what I'm used to from either expensive brands or indie brands. However, for drugstore, these are really, really good quality mattes in my opinion. And the ones that I've tried today have been fantastic, no issues, gone on beautifully blended. They were pigmented. It's not my favourite matte formula in the world by a mile, but I do think, like I said earlier, that the Makeup Revolution collabs, the quality wise, is so much better than their normal range. Please do let me know what you think to this first look and what you think to these 2 palettes that I combined. Of course, all of the things that I'm testing in this video is just first impressions. So obviously I'm going to use all of these things time and time again before I come back and give you my final thoughts in a speed review. So that will be upcoming. So if you want to check that out, please do make sure you are subscribed. But yeah, liking these palettes so far. I think that the mattes are better than the shimmers. And I wish the colour stories were a little bit more colourful, but I'm really pleased with the look and how it's come out. I really like this lipstick. I think it's a beautiful shade. It's not matte. It is definitely more of a satin, but it is very comfortable and it's not going to be kiss proof. And for a shade this deep to not be kiss proof, just be careful. So let's dive in to the second look. Please do ignore my staining, but we're going to go in with the primer this time, because this time I have remembered before we begin putting the base on. So this is the Don Carlton Grip Primer Base. You get 30ml in this, and I'm going to be interested to see if it's like my other gripping primers and how good this is. Now I do have slightly dry skin, so I don't know how well it's going to work for me, but I'm excited that it's tinged green. Okay, so it definitely is tinged green, which is interesting. It's a little bit like flubber, and it feels a little bit gel-like. So we'll see if this actually is gripping and how my foundation sits on top of it. I'm going to use a foundation that I know and love. I'm probably going to use my NARS Soft Matte because I love that for my skin, and I know how that works on top of primers and even if I don't use a primer. So that will be a good test. It feels quite moisturising actually, and it's not as sticky as when I apply my e.l.f. gripping primer, or what was the other one? The Milk Hydro Grip. They're a lot more difficult to even spread because they're that sticky, but this one has definitely got a tack to it, but it feels more comfortable. Yeah, can you see that? Definitely got a tack. So I'm going to see how this wears when I put my base on, but so far just applying that, I think it feels really nice. It's exactly how I want it to be before I put the rest of my base on. So let me do all of that. I'll put on the blush and highlight again, and then we can get into the products I haven't yet tested. Okay, so I've got the majority of my base on, but I wanted to test the highlighter with the actual brush and remember to do it this time. And this is the, which one was this? Raw Omega Raw Brush. Let's put some more of Mike Wazowski highlighter on. It would have been nice if this had a bit of a green tinge. Not gonna lie, I love anything green makeup related, but because Mike's green, that would have been cute rather than a gold, but I suppose more people would use a gold highlight than a green one. This is quite a nice size brush to add highlight with. I quite like this one. It's definitely making it a bit more intense this time using this brush, and I'm not mad at it. And I forgot to use this for bronzer and concealer. It will be in a speed review when I've tested all these things a lot more. So before we use the next 2 eyeshadow palettes, I am going to use the Sully gloss. Like, I'm still obsessed with how that is blue and purple. It looks a little bit slushy-like. I'm enjoying that. Don't know how it's going to come across on the lips. Maybe it'll just come across as clear. Again, that's got a nice scent. Not sure what it is. I'm the worst person for describing scents, but really, really nice smell. Again, the applicator doesn't pick up a lot of products, just like the lip oil, but has it got a blue tinge? Or am I just imagining that? Is this clear? I think it might have the slightest blue tinge, but it's not really coming across like that on the lips per se because it's looking very, very clear. It actually feels a lot closer in consistency to a lip oil than it does to a lip gloss because it's not sticky and goopy, and this is actually really comfortable and nice. So really happy with that. Thank you, Sully. Okay, so we've got the Randall palette still to use and the Don Carlton. I can totally understand why this is a neutral one because Don is kind of a neutral guy, but I wouldn't have said Randall was particularly neutral. It would have been nice if we would have had some extremely bright pink in here. You know when he's at the end of the film and he turns bright pink with love hearts all over him? That would have been cute to see, but... Okay, I think this look is going to lean more neutral just because we have got so many neutral shades in these two palettes, especially the Don palette, which is fine because not everybody just wants to put bright rainbow colours all over their eyes like I do. So what shall we start with? Shall we start with Don or Randall? I feel like Randall's palette is a lot lighter on the whole than Don, so I think we'll start with Don's for the depth. And I think we're going to start out with the shade Party, which is the deep brown down here. Ooh, that is a pigmented brown. I am impressed with this matte formula compared to other Makeup Revolution palettes I've tried. I didn't pick up any of the Shrek collection. Well, not the eyeshadow palettes anyway. I did get the Gingy Lip, and they had a similar style small palette for a lot of the characters from the Shrek collection. So I don't actually know if that is a similar formula to the formula that's in these palettes. Maybe if you have both, you can let me know. But I imagine it would be similar because the packaging is similar also, and it's the same kind of concept vibe. Look, it's very rare I start off with any sort of brown shade. Like, this is a rare moment, but actually I'm really enjoying that. That is a nice deep brown that's applying beautifully and giving me the depth I want in the outer corner. Do the shapes match? No, but that's my fault. I've just noticed there's a shade called Mrs. Squibbles. Oh, that's so cute because he dates her in the end. Oh, that's adorable. I think then I want to take the shade President from the Don Carlton palette as well. Dangerous Don Carlton. I love the insides of these, that they're actually like real scare cards. That is cute. It would have been nice if there was a separate scare card with it as well, I'm not gonna lie. That could have been cute also. I'm just going to connect up this lighter brown with the deeper brown we've got going on. This is nothing revolutionary. I'm just testing the formula and the different shades. Like I'm putting a brown in the crease. Like, it's not new. I'm actually enjoying this brown moment I've got going on. Am I okay? Do I need some help? Trying to keep it quite nice and smoky toward this outer corner, and I think I want to keep it a little bit lighter and brighter toward the inner corner. Okay, from the Randall palette, I think I'm going to go for the shade Roommate, which is a light pinkish type of matte, and I think it will match with the lip that we're going to use quite nicely. So these are picking up a lot on the brush, and I just want to pop that toward the very inner corner. I will say if I just had this Randall palette on its own, I would struggle to create a look with it just because it hasn't got enough depth in it for me personally. I would have to bring in something else just because that's the type of look I like. So I think it pairs nicely. Like the two sets of eyeshadows that I've paired together, I think they complement each other nicely. Just because then you've got a variety with depth and light tones, because there isn't depth in every palette. So if that's what you're looking for, just compare and see if there's more than one that you can pair together if you're interested in picking any of these up. But that pink looks cute towards the front of the look. Should we put a little bit on the lower lash line as well? Then back into a little bit of President, which was the brown from the Dawn palette. And we'll merge all of this together. And I think that's more or less going to be the mattes. Then we need to decide on the shimmers. So I'm going to attempt to pick up one of these shimmers with this brush again. And I think I'm going to use Competitive from the Randall palette. I'm now destroying the pan. The shade does not want to be picked up. Okay, I have sprayed it. Let's see how it goes on. It's definitely going on better than the first look with this brush, but I do think all of these shades would benefit from being put on with your finger rather than a brush. I think they'd just be a lot more intense. Shall we just try that? Yeah, definitely a lot more intense if you're going to use your finger. Then I think I'll go into a little bit of the shade Hardworking from the Dawn palette, just so I can meet up with that matte toward the outer corner. We've got a little bit more dimension, but there are a lot of neutral mattes and shimmers in these palettes. I think I might go into this one for the inner corner. This is Breaking Rules from the Randall palette down here, just to add something a little bit lighter and brighter for the inner corner. Will it pick up on a brush? It is so difficult to pick these up on a brush. So I'm trying to add it and it's there, it's just not intense as it probably would be if I tried to use my finger, which is a bit crazy for the inner corner, so I'm not going to attempt that. I'm just going to try and build it up with this brush just so I have a bit of a brighter inner corner going on. And I think that's more or less going to be the eyeshadow. So let me finish up these eyes and then we'll come back and put the other lipstick on. Okay, so I've taken that lip gloss off and we need to go in with the lip. Which one is it? This one is Squishy. It's the Squishy lip. That is so adorable. I mean, the plastic isn't the best packaging, but because it's covered in Squishy, it's cute. Okay, I've just gone in with the lip liner from Colourpop again. This one is Good and Plenty. So let's use the Squishy lipstick. That is a nice pinky nude. I don't think that's too pink. It is more of a nudie pink. It's not one I typically pick up and run after a shade like this, but I think it's cute. So completed look number 2. Please don't forget to let me know which one you prefer in the comments down below, as well as letting me know what you think to this collection and the things you're interested in picking up and trying, or why you're not picking anything up whatsoever. I would be really interested in your thoughts. Out of the 2 looks, now I've got this on, shock horror, I actually think I prefer this one. It's not that often I see myself in nude eyeshadow or browns, and sometimes when I do it catches me off guard and I'm like, that's cute. And I do feel kind of cute now I've got all of this on, especially with this lip, because it's just not what I typically pick for myself. If I could pick anything, it'd be orange cheeks, orange lip, bright green eyeshadow, which is my absolute favourite. It makes me happy and it makes me smile, but seeing myself like this once in a while as well, it is nice. It's nice to change it up as well, and especially for the neutral lovers that are on my channel, you're probably screaming with joy right now because I've finally used a brown. So I'm going to go through all of the products and let you know my final thoughts of the first impressions. Like I say, I will definitely come back and do a speed review for you when I've tested all of these things a lot more, because first impressions are just first impressions. I could totally change my mind when I've used these things a few more times, or if I've come across an eyeshadow palette and there's a really dud shade, I will of course come back and let you know in that speed review. So let's start out with the primer. I'm a big fan of this primer. First time trying it and it felt really nice going on, and it wasn't too difficult to spread out compared to some of my other gripping primers. It felt a little bit moisturising as well, which was really nice. It was a really good consistency and it was definitely still a little bit tacky as you saw, and my foundation applied beautifully on top of it. And it's looking really good right now. Of course I'm gonna wear this for the rest of the day, see how it wears, use this a few more times before I come back and let you know my final thoughts, but so far I'm really impressed. And it's super cute. Like, he's a sticky guy and it's a sticky primer. As for the highlight, I think the packaging is what's selling it to me. It is a beautiful highlight. It is a gorgeous gold and it definitely does look wet looking on the skin. It is really, really nice. I don't think it's going to suit every single skin tone, which is a shame, and everybody does kind of have a gold highlight in their collection already, so I don't think it's anything brand new and that you have to rush out and buy, but if you wanted to pick it up because it's Mike Wazowski and you wanted to know if it was a nice highlight, I would definitely say it is. Squishy's mom is the best. I have to say that this is my favourite product just because it's got Squishy's mum on it. Like I say, not normally a pink blush lover, but actually the way that it's gone with this look today, and I've done it a little bit more subtle and it just like matches with the lip and the little bit of pink we've got going on in the eyeshadow. I'm a big fan, and actually it's really easy to apply. The brush that I used it with to pick it up and apply it, it's easy to blend. It's a nice formula. It doesn't lift anything. I did use mine with a brush, so I'm not sure how it would be with a sponge. I imagine it'd still be quite good. It does have the little mirror in it, and I just think it's super cute. So actually, as cream blushes go, this is a really good formula, and the Makeup Revolution cream bronzer is actually my favourite cream bronzer in my whole collection. So I do think Makeup Revolution do amazing cream products, and I think this blush is no exception. The brushes. Of course I had to get it because it was the canister. What can I say? I am a sucker for stuff like this. Monsters Inc. is amazing, and the Scream canister design is just, it's classic, it's iconic for Monsters Inc. So it's nice to have brushes in there. Did we only need 4? Like, did we need the canister this big just for the 4 brushes? No. And are the brushes pretty darn random? Yes. However, the design of them with the different fraternities and sororities on them, genius idea, absolutely love that. But I don't know, I kind of would have changed these two. I think these two are the reason why I'm a little bit less in love than I thought I was going to be, because I don't like too much of a flimsy brush. I like to be a little bit more precise with my placement of things. So although I will get some use out of this, it wouldn't be my first choice. Like I say, I will use this one for concealer because I don't know, it's quite a big one for the eye, and I don't tend to collect a lot of big eye brushes or keep them for that specific reason, just because I prefer smaller ones on the whole. But I could definitely use this for concealer, something like that. This one probably would be okay for picking up shimmers had it not have been the shimmers in the actual palettes, which is a bit of a strange one considering they're released in the same collection. It just doesn't pick them up that well unless you're willing to destroy the whole pan, spend a lot of time picking it up and then spraying it a lot to make sure there's no fallout and crumbliness. But I don't think that's the brush's fault. I think it was more the shimmers just would have preferred being picked up with the finger. This one I'm in love with for highlight, and this is one of the reasons I wanted it as well as the fact it's a canister. It's a nice packing on sort of intense highlighter brush, and I like the design of it, and that it's the Raw Omega Raw, and I think it's really nice if you want to be specific and blinding with your highlight rather than a bigger, fluffier highlight brush. The lipsticks are really cute. I was imagining that they were going to be more matte than they are. They are definitely a satin formula. They're definitely not kiss proof, and actually wearing them both now, I think I prefer the squishy one slightly more, just because if it's not going to be a fully matte formula that dries down, you don't want it travelling around your face, and if it's going to be travelling, you don't want a real deep shade doing that. I think both of them look beautiful on it. They feel extremely comfortable. They're really nice shades, but yeah, slightly prefer squishy, and I think it looks cute. The lip oil and the lip gloss, I don't think you need both unless you're crazy like me and you just want it because it's Monsters Inc. I think out of the two, I prefer the lip oil because it was a little bit more tinted. You could see a little bit of purple rather than it being fully clear, and it is an actual lip oil. But having said that, they're not that dissimilar in consistency. Like, it feels a comfortable gloss, this one. But I mean, I guess it just depends which one you want to pick up. Maybe you just want this one because it's Sully, I don't know. But I was going to say, if you was only wanting to pick up one, I would recommend the lip oil. And then we have the 4 eyeshadow palettes. I'm glad I picked these up instead of the really big one because, like I say, that wasn't my cup of tea. That was a bit of a jumble. I'll be interested to see other people's videos on it to see how they find the formula, because I don't feel like those big palettes have as good formula in as the smaller ones in collabs that Revolution do. Is that just me? Am I alone in thinking that? Please do let me know. But I love the fact that these are meant to be the scare cards, because they do actually talk about the scare cards in the film. I like the design of them. I like the artwork on the front. It's just the colour stories for me that could have been different. The only one that I think should have stayed neutral was the Don Carlton palette, which would make more sense. I do think that the mattes are very pigmented, blendable, and the formula is definitely a step up from the normal Makeup Revolution formula that are not collabs. I enjoyed working with them. They were easy to blend out. The shimmers are nice if you pick them up with your finger. and I don't think they're anything intense, blinding and anything to write home about, but I think they're really nice for a traditional type of shimmer. Now, the ones that are different are the marbly ones with the two-tone shades. They're a little bit more putty-like, and they're a little bit less intense when they're on the eye. If anything, I find them a little bit more difficult to work with than the other shades in the palette. But I think it's cute, the shade names and everything. They've really thought about this. They've even got the little indentations of Monsters University symbols in it. I think it's nice. I just think the shimmer formula needs a step up, and the colour stories could have been better. I still think that my favourite palette out of the lot is going to be this one because it's got the most colour in it, but where is the blue for Sully? Like, we didn't need all these browns at the top. That makes me a little bit sad, but overall I'm really happy that I've got all 4 palettes because I am a bit of a collector and I am a sucker for a collab. And if you put them on the side, this is what they look like. I mean, I'm sorry, super cute. The best things from the collection for me are definitely the primer so far, Squishy's Mum because it's Squishy's Mum, and the lip oil. Those are just my thoughts and first impressions. I'd be really interested to know what you think. I will link all of the stuff that I've tried from Makeup Revolution in the description box down below in case you're interested in picking anything up. And hopefully guys, I'll see you in my next video. Bye.